As creatives, we often share the same problem of not having one idea, but many ideas. And if you're like me and you carry a notebook in your purse or on your bedside, in the shower, well, then you, my friend, might be one of us. I'd also consider myself to sometimes be a borrower of ideas, unapologetic even. Everywhere I go, I can't help but be inspired. I can't help but be consumed with all the little thoughts and feelings that come with those ideas. And why wouldn't I want to have that same uplifting experience every day in the place that I call home? If you could make your street safe enough to walk down alone, would you? If you could create something so engaging that people didn't even notice the smell of the city street around you, wouldn't you? I specifically remember the first time I sat in a parklet. I was witnessing a true people place firsthand, as in people were talking with each other in real life. It was so captivating how such a small space could have such a huge impact on the neighborhood around it. Parklets are just a 2 parking space change that a community can make to revitalize the entire streetscape and take ownership of an area. Not only have they proven to increase foot traffic and encourage social interaction, but they put life back into concrete. And it's the absence of this type of vibrancy that allows blight to set in. So when the location of my business was struggling with theft and graffiti, not the good kind, and an increasing vagrant problem, I was forced to ask, how could I turn our alley into something I could truly be proud of? After kicking around the idea of these parklets, a lot of meetings, a lot of explaining, and some serious contemplation of guerrilla warfare, my partner and I decided it was time to take action in cleaning up the street we walk down every day. He, being on the tech side, designed us a beautiful website and proposal for our project, and I was in charge of the talking. Imagine that. Well, little did I know that word was going to travel fast. With no real rendering at the time, social media caught fire, and it was at this time we looked at each other and had a real oh shit moment that we were really doing this. And it's not that we were so convicted to say, let there be more seating, but rather we needed to recreate a moment of interaction that would take place in the parklet. When we approached the city, I half expected, after hearing all the horror stories of city staff, that we would have some convincing to do. But as I walked into one of the most conservative rooms I'd been in, I was also met with a how instead of a no. I realized they shouldn't always be made out to be the bad guys. Sometimes we are. We have amazing innovations, but yet not enough momentum in our process to turn them into fruition. That's why it's our job, as the everyday people, to reshape the way we see that relationship between government and citizens and how it relates to reclaiming the public right-of-way. I believe that starts with both a balance of commercial success and maintaining public space. It wasn't until we saw that the process of engaging wasn't this big scary monster we thought, most of the time, were we able to ask, what else can we do? Our alley circulates a huge amount of trash from the bars. I would walk by and make the comment of, the city should really do something about this for weeks. Until I finally sent a letter request, and wouldn't you know, they came the next day and swept the street. They even trimmed our trees. Now call it coincidence, but it was great for 2 whole days. But instead of continuing to complain and not do anything, we decided to start our alley coalition. We designated cleanup days. We commissioned an artist to paint over the chicken scratch graffiti, so instead, our alley would have a beautiful mural. Pride is not just a word that belongs to businesses. It's in our neighborhoods too. Anyone that chooses to can have a voice. Until recently, I had no idea that the city will help put on block parties for free. And it's ideas like this that can change a city. Each of us has every opportunity to love where we live. So the next time that you sit behind a computer bashing about how your downtown needs help, ask yourself how instead. Ask, how can I make a change? How can I make a change? Because what gives a community value is its willingness for growth and a clear plan of who we want to be seen as a destination. Taking ideas and making them our own. That doesn't happen with one person. It doesn't exist with one face or a certain age or what you do for a living. A strong community is made up only of multiple people working together toward a common goal. And it certainly doesn't always wear a suit and tie. This is just the beginning for us. Be committed. Be passionate. There are no more excuses of what your last name isn't or how much money you don't have in your bank account. Let's remove those negative words like can't from our vocabulary and replace them with a will. It's up to every one of us to show up and prove together that creatives create great ideas. Thank you.